this session. So this is the last session of this series of free speaking tests for IELTS preparation with IELTS Academy. This session will focus on how to prepare for the speaking test in general. We're just waiting for 1 minute for others to join. Okay. Just in case. How to prepare? First of all, you should know how the IELTS speaking test is marked. So as we said at the beginning of this speaking course, we have 4 criteria here on which you should be aware and know how to adjust your speaking and your study accordingly. So we have the lexical resource, which is related to using the use of your vocab. And then we have pronunciation, correct pronunciation, which includes correct pronunciation for single words or individual words, word stress, and connect speech or linking words. The second thing is like Khalid. Yeah. Next, we have the grammatical range and accuracy, and this is related to using a variety of sentences, not all the time simple sentences, with accurate grammar. And finally, you have fluency. Being fluent means that your speech flows smoothly like a river. And coherently means that you can organize your talk using linking words like firstly, secondly, and so on, as much as I know. And using these linking words will organize and make your speech more comprehensible, or let's say understandable. Now, lexical resource again means using advanced vocabulary, not just very simple, or let's say A1 vocabulary or A2. If you are aiming at scoring 7, for example, then the level of your vocabulary should be relevant to that level. Using synonyms and antonyms, using intensifiers, collocations, idioms. Idioms actually is one feature of band 7 and higher. If you don't use idioms in a natural way, okay, so expect 6. Grammatical range and accuracy. Don't overuse simple sentences. Use simple sentences when it is appropriate, but you should use a variety of sentences. You should use complex sentences. You should use connecting words and a variety of tenses. Remember to use the passive voice and conditionals. The third thing is using pronunciation. In the pronunciation, your pronunciation of individual sounds should be clear. Connecting sounds. Okay, for example, do you say do you, so you have a J over there. Word stress, the correct word stress. For example, present, present. Sentence stress and intonation. These are the features of pronunciation. The next part is about fluency and coherence. So you should focus on speaking without hesitation, natural pauses. You can pause, but natural pauses, not looking for vocabulary and so on. Ordering and connecting ideas, and telling a story. Think about your own strengths and weaknesses here if you are going to prepare for the speaking test. Let's start from the first part, how to improve your lexical resource for the IELTS. Look at these plans. We have Laura's study plan, Louis' study plan. Take like 1 minute, and what do you think will be most effective for Laura and Lou? Will listening to podcasts will be effective?
Yes.
Yes, but I'm talking about lexical resource. Find a speaking body.
Like it depends, I think.
Yeah, it could, but if you listen, but you didn't increase your vocab. Think about here, how to improve lexical resource, not grammar, not pronunciation. So this could, for example, listening could improve your pronunciation.
Okay.
So instead of just listening, she could just try to find more new words to add to her vocabulary. Practice with body, a speaking body. This is good for pronunciation. Read some English poetry. Poetry could be effective. However, some of the words are archaic, old-fashioned. Old-fashioned words, which will not, let's say, be used anymore. So you have to think about words which are used for everyday communication and which show that you know how to use them. What about review flashcards? Will this increase her vocabulary?
Yes.
Yes. Listen to English pop songs? Not exactly, actually. Listening will increase your pronunciation skills. Listen to news in English. News English is okay, by the way. You can find some good terms or good vocab in English in the news. Record 5-minute spoken summary. Spoken summary will be good for to see how your speaking is or your pronunciation. Okay. However, you need to add more resources for the vocabulary. For example, you can go to this. Okay. I think there's someone is waiting. So Zainab was asking about a website. Zainab, you were asking about a website to practice talking. I would recommend this one, Free for Talk. You can join with using your email. I'm not going to join, but however, you can find people speaking many languages here. So if you want English, it has an application, of course. You can have it in your mobile. You can create a new group with other friends. Here, English any level, for example, but this group is full. English upper and intermediate, but you have to sign in. So if you enter, these are like, if you remember the Yahoo, the old chat rooms, or there was like Baltalk or other stuff. This is something like this. So you can find people who you can talk to in English if you want to practice English upper intermediate. For example, if you join, so it will be like this. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Hello. How are you doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. So this is like an example of, and also you can turn on your cam if you want.
What did you say?
And turn on or off your cam. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I actually didn't get what you say because
Who's talking?
hello.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, and you?
Thanks, I'm fine.
Where are you from?
Where are you from?
I'm from Egypt.
I'm from Turkey.
Oh, nice to see you here. Nice to talk to you.
Thanks.
So what are you discussing here? Are you just speaking English?
Yes, I'm here to make some practice.
Okay. I'm an English teacher. I'm just showing my students how to use this website. I'm recommending this website. So maybe after I finish this class, they will join to practice English with you.
Okay.
What's your name?
My name is Melih.
Again, again, please?
Melih.
Mili. Oh, nice to talk to you, Mili. I am Imad from Egypt.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Okay. Sorry, I will have to leave, but maybe I'll join later. Thank you. So this is one website. Regarding vocabulary, I would recommend vocabulary.com. Actually, this is a very nice website, especially for the teaching in the American diploma. Okay, Ms. Zainab. The session is recorded. So here you can look up the words in dictionary. You can learn. You can make your own vocabulary lists. You can sign up and make like an account in order to track your progress. You can prepare yourself for a test. Okay. So this is a very nice website for vocabulary, vocabulary.com. So again, we have free for talk.com. Here it is in the chat box. This is if you want to speak for some, and there is an application in the mobile for increasing your vocabulary, and so you can use vocabulary.com. in the chat box. Right? And that's it. Try to familiarize yourself with the features of these two websites. Next, we have improving pronunciation. How are you going to improve your pronunciation? Using some strategies. Look up the pronunciation of a word. Which picture of these is related to this way? Can you match, please? To listen very carefully. Which picture? These are some techniques.
The headphones.
The headphone. Listen to native speakers.
Like the radio?
Yeah. By the way, I used this way when I was like in secondary school. And so I used to listen to Voice of America and the BBC. You don't need to have a native speaker at home or at school to record myself speaking. I did this technique also before I joined Faculty of Education English department. To mark word stress, sentence stress, and intonation. Okay, so these are some techniques that focus on the 4 parts of the speaking texts. I don't mean the 4 parts of the structure, I mean the 4 parts of the marking criteria. So you have 3 parts in the structure, part 1, part 2, and part 3, as we said. But however, they are marked according to 4 marking criteria. And accordingly, when you plan for your score in the speaking test, you should focus on how to prepare horizontally and vertically. Okay. One way of checking your pronunciation, you can use this dictionary, for example, or Cambridge, and so on. And I would also recommend here in your mobile, you can download this app, U Dictionary. And what is the benefit of U Dictionary? I will show you. Dictionary or dictionary, both of them are. U Dictionary in my mobile here. This is an application where you can, when you look at a word, it has like an option in which it can test your pronunciation. So this is U Dictionary. And here when I write a word, for example, if I say escalate. So it gives you the pronunciation.
Escalate.
Escalate. And the British and American. And here you have some examples, and you have the microphone option in which you can listen to a sentence and repeat it, and it will give you prompt feedback. For example, and he escalated from 1 victim to 2. If I wanted to listen to,
and he escalated from 1 victim to 2.
And then I can challenge the application. And he escalated from 1 victim to 2. Depending on the strength of your, so he didn't listen carefully to my, I will do it again. It may depend on the internet itself. And he escalated from 1 to 2. I think the internet, this internet connection is not good, but it can give you like stars like this, and it shows you how your pronunciation was identical to native speakers or not. I mean, the correct pronunciation. In the IELTS test, we are not concerning about your accent at all. Now, you can also record yourself and check your answers against the criteria. So Diego recorded himself answering IELTS questions from part 1, part 2, and part 3. And when he listened to his own answers, which aspects of grammar did he check? Which parts of IELTS speaking requires the most advanced fluency and coherence? What do you think? Is it part 1, part 2, or part 3?
Maybe 2
Yes, 2 and 3, of course.
and 3, okay.
And because which parts of that require most advanced fluency? Because part 1 is short, right? It's a short interview. You can give extended answer, of course, but you don't have to focus on this. In a way like similar to part 3. Part 3, you have to give extended answers, follow-up questions. So part 2, it's easy to find authentic paper 2 card. Just look online. Okay. لو أنا عايز أدور, if you want to find more about practice for part 2, you can go, for example, IELTS body or any IELTS body, for example. And find for speaking part 2, you can find cue cards and practice speaking. And so on. Many websites you can use, or you can use Cambridge Official and so on. Or you can use Les IELTS. Speaking. Part 1 topics. And then you have part 2 and then part 3. In order to practice in a realistic way, you have to read the card at least twice to make sure you understand it. Choose your specific topic example quickly and try to think of something you know well. Decide on the structure of your notes and write your own keywords and phrase. Use a stopwatch. You can use a stopwatch like this one. So you adjust your speaking to 2 minutes and you can stop. What would you talk about if you got these cue cards? Describe an exciting sport. Describe something interesting that you want to learn more about. Describe a person you know who cooks well. Describe a paid job which you or someone you know did. So exciting sport, you could think of an exciting sport you like, for example, like this. I don't know what is it, water, but describe something interesting that you want to learn more about. For example, it could be the old Egyptian civilization, the ancient Egyptian and so on. Describe a person you know who cooks well. It could be your brother, your sister, or whatever, or your friend. A paid job which you or someone you know did. So you can think not only of the pictures, but you can think about, so you need to do some sort of brainstorming and practice at home before you go to the test. Because in reality, if you are stuck and you are dry for your ideas, or you don't have ideas in the test, it will be like a penalty and you will going to repeat the test. So preparation should be in a similar way to the test conditions, but when you are not in the test, you have enough time to think about more topics. So you need to get yourself more familiarized with the IELTS topics. I think that Liz actually has like most updated topics here and with the dates. Book, art, book, communication, daily routine, exercise, family, gift, hobby, internet, journey, kindness. All of these topics could come in the test. Music, news, old people, photograph, respect, sport, travel, unexpected, event, vocation, water, your favorite shop, zoo, and so on. Remember to practice a couple of different sentences structure for your opening sentences. Again, so for example, you can say, I'm going to talk about blah, blah, blah. An exciting sport. This sport is football. I like, and so on. You should look at the cue card and prepare your answer accordingly. Coherence in part 3. As we said in the previous session, you should focus on coherence in part 3 by using something like firstly, secondly. In my opinion, personally, I think as much as I'm concerned, as far as I know. For example, in this question, should the government sometimes censor the media? Is there any coherence here? What do you think?
No.
No, because these are just separate sentences. And this kind of will actually lower your score regarding fluency and coherence. Now it's your turn. How do you prefer? Answer the questions being sure to connect your ideas. So coherence is about using connectors to connect your ideas, which actually will make some sort of organization and it will look more fluent. How do you prefer to contact people, by email or by phone? So you can say, personally, I would prefer to use my phone to connect with people. Using the phone is very, very convenient because I can interact directly with the person I'm talking to. Everything would be clear and understandable. However, using emails in contacting, it needs a lot of time, and sometimes the message is not clear, and it will take a lot of time because I will wait for the response from my friend. So overall, I would go for using the phone for contacting people. So that's something like that. Do you think it's important for people to play games? We answered it before. Do you think that advertising on the internet should be illegal? Illegal? What are the advantages? So you have to look. So here you have to mention the benefits, the technique. Here you have to mention two sides of the argument, or both sides of the something. And plus you have to, let's say, organize your answer in a coherent way so that your fluency would be marked for the benefit of you. Now, your own study plan. How much time do you have before your IELTS test? Are you preparing for the IELTS?
How much time do you have before your IELTS? What will you do each week to work on your speaking skills?
What do you think?
I'm sorry, Mr. Ahmed, could you repeat that again?
How much time are you preparing for the IELTS in the coming days, Mr. Khalid?
I'm going to.
Yeah, it's very important actually. In many jobs for teachers, will require the IELTS as a requirement actually especially for high-paying jobs. You should aim at scoring 7.5 at least, or 7 minimum. What about you, Zainab? Are you taking the IELTS test in the coming days or the coming month? Can you hear? Okay, and finally, let's watch like a part 3 video. When are you going to take it? So this is like a 3.5, which is not, which you should avoid actually to do the same. So let's watch.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, we can begin. This is the speaking mock test of the International English Language Testing System taking place at Ross IELTS Academy. The candidate is Farshad. The candidate number is 1314587. The examiner is Samson Sees, examiner number 443533. Good afternoon, my name is Samson. Would you please tell me your full name?
Yes, my name is Farshad Askeri.
Okay, and can I see your identification, please?
Sure.
Wonderful, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
This is a full test, but I will focus on part 3. Okay, so I'm going to finish this in like 10 minutes also.
And a different photo, caricature, animation, and you can say.
So as you can see, part 2 is about describing a photograph of you that you like. You should say, and these are the points. Listen to this candidate and see how he's struggling. According to the video, this is a 3.5 band score. I didn't mute you, by the way. Zainab, I didn't mute you. You can unmute yourself. I didn't mute anyone. Just click in. If you want to ask about anything, you can do it.
Your voice in photo.
Okay, so he finished part 2. Now he's going to part 3. Listen to the questions. What type of questions are there?
Wonderful, great. Okay, so in part 2, you talked about a photograph of you that you like. Now, in this part, I want to ask you some questions related to this topic. So let's consider taking photos. Is it easy to take good photographs?
Not usually. The good photo you cannot easy take the photo. You are think about this and then take the photo. Not any people can take a good photo, I think.
Okay, now what are the pros and cons of digital photography?
Digital photography, I think 2 years is very famous, the digital photo. and I think it's a new and it's new in the world, I think not any people can use this.
Okay, and is it necessary to take a course to become a good photographer?
Yes, I think.
Okay. And how has...
So as you can see, and you have watched, what do you think, what some mistakes that this candidate committed in part 3 of the test?
I'm sorry, mister. I couldn't hear.
What are some mistakes that he committed? And why do you think he got 3.5?
I mean, like lack of like he didn't use like some connectors, some like complex sentences, fluency, like there is no coherence and cohesion, like simple sentences, I think.
Yeah,
All of
it's
the
actually,
things.
grammar is not accurate, fluency is not, and coherence is not up to the level. And let's say also lexical, he lacks a lot of vocabulary. So he was all the time, actually, he didn't understand what he was going to say, right? So he has some ideas, he wants to express them, but because of not having enough vocabulary, not having efficient pronunciation, not having the way to organize his ideas, and of course, bad grammar or not correct, incorrect grammar led to this kind of score. And he doesn't have the techniques. Yeah, you shouldn't say yes and no, as I told you. You can say as far as I know, okay, and so on. So we came to the end of this course. Thank you actually very much for attending the course with me. I'm really happy to have such committed candidates with me for this course. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. And please, in the group, can you send us your feedback in the WhatsApp group about the course you have attended? The course now is recorded and it's available on my YouTube channel. So at any time you can go to attend like a 10-hour course with me, Mr. Ahmad Al-Hakim, and with IELTTA Academy. Thank you very much, Mr. Khalid. Thank you, Zainab. I think you can use your mic now, can't you? Khalid, do you have any questions? Still, we have time.
Thank you so much, Mr. It was really beneficial.
Thank you. You're welcome anytime. Okay, Zainab, do you have any questions? I think you have a problem with your mic, actually. Oh, thank you. So I'm going to finish this. Thank you. It was like a precious time for me being with you for these 5 weeks, during the last 5 weeks. And I wish we could meet again in more courses with IELTTA Academy. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.